Welcome people of the earth, I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to explain how the creator of our universe, I'm going to explain his nature and how he works. I'm going to explain the reality of the creator, of the dark, the one that created the light and everything that exists. So I'm going to explain the reality of the creator. So, anyway, I'm going to expose a lie. They say that a human cannot comprehend the creator. That's a lie, we can. All it takes is just to be aware. Many people believe the lies they're told in society growing up, without ever thinking for themselves and knowing the answer for themselves. They just go along with what they're taught and conditioned. So, I love me. Oh yeah, anyway. People are taught based off, growing up. They've been deceived, they've been tricked. So anyway, another lie to expose in this video is that we cannot comprehend God, right? So I'm going to expose that lie and say that we can. People just gotta know how the creator works, For example, in this video, I'm gonna teach how to comprehend them, to understand them. All right. Now, the creator is omnipresent, the source, omnipotent, all-knowing, right? All right. So I'm gonna teach. First, I'll teach what he looks like, so you understand what he physically looks like. Think about a void that's black, with no shape or form. Yep, that's what he physically looks like. He's the source, the dark. Yep, so you just learned right now what he looks like. So, see? Easy to comprehend. Now, number two. If he knows everything, simultaneously, all of time, right? How does he seem to get surprised in history, right? Or get upset over certain things? Why? Well, he has heavenly beings that get upset for him, literally. You ever heard of the entities known as time lords? Basically, they're heavenly beings who are jobs. Their job is to act out the actions of the creator for specific time periods. Because in real life, nothing surprises the creator. He knows everything already. He exists outside of time, outside of movement, while simultaneously, movement and time comes from him. So he already knows everything that play out. So what he do? He put a heavenly being to be in charge of certain actions of every time period. Yeah. So whenever you hear about God's wrath, that's really an angel carrying that out, a heavenly being carrying that out. Yeah, that's time masters. They're put in charge to act out certain time periods. So when you hear about God's wrath, God getting angry, and that those are just heavenly beings being mad for him, carrying out his mad for that moment. So he already saw everything. So he set a date for his joy, his anger. Yeah, both sides. He set a date. Yeah, for a blessing and a curse. You see that? So he's never surprised. He just set a heavenly being to fulfill that role for them. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever happens, he already know that he's not gonna allow certain things to be getting away with, while there be those he's going to reward. So yeah, so since we have time, everything that happened throughout history with the wrath of the source, or a blessing from the source, those were just angels put in charge to carry out his love or his hatred, or his joy or his anger. So that's how that works. So those weren't the source himself, acting. Those were the angels put in charge of carrying out the source's will for that moment. Yeah. So I wanted to explain how that worked. The source saw everything that will play out, and he designed everything to play out this way. So yeah, so you understand that part of him now, right? Okay. And now, what's the third thing? The third thing is recognizing that there are some things that the source can't do. Okay, remember, being all powerful does not mean that you can do everything. There are some things that you can't do, and that has nothing to do with being all powerful. Understand? Okay, for example, the creator, right? There are some things that the omnipresent, the source, cannot do. One, he cannot die. He's never been killed. He cannot be killed. He's eternity himself, immortality himself. He cannot experience being limited. One of the reasons why he has us for, to see what it's like to be limited. 3, he cannot lie, because he is the reality, the source of the reality, the truth, yeah? And all a lie is just, just the, falsehood of the reality. So, something that's not real or true. So, let's see, he cannot lie, he cannot die, he cannot be limited. So, that's what he needs us humans for. So, yeah. So, I told you 3 things about the source. So, that way he's able to be understood. See? It's easy to figure out. Exactly. It's not hard. Y'all just been lied to by the system. They don't want you to know, the true self within. So they complicate that knowledge, so that way you will never be in tune with the source. That's why the people of the world system, their job is to lie to the masses. They work with the evil one, so people don't know the reality. So yeah, in this video I wanted to explain, the true nature of the Creator. So, so yeah, the Creator. He knows everything while simultaneously being everything. Everything comes out of the void. Everything plays out the way it's meant to. There's no such thing as random chance. Everything is played out on purpose. But the only difference is a lot of humans are just not aware of that. Majority are not, so only a few are. So yeah. The source has his own personality, and he put an angel in charge of dishing out, judgment, with those he loves and those he hates. So that's just how it is. He already set it up, so that's why, yeah, it appears that God is moving, in 2026 or throughout the histories, but it's really just angels he put in charge of those time moments. For example, he says, he's all right. You at this date, you need to save this person from being hit by a train. Fly there and to get him out the way. And then the others, he says, all right, you're in charge of causing this curse on this person on this date. Yeah, so, yeah, nothing takes him by surprise. He just already set out, because by the reality of giving free will to individuals, he knew that there were things that would have to happen in order for us to be living beings and experience free will. So he already set out a justice and a punishment for each moment. So, So yeah. In order for a human to evolve, we had to eventually learn evil, like to know what it's like to be good and evil. Everything has a proper punishment and a proper blessing, so everything has to happen that way. So the Creator already set it up before the beginning. So yeah. Of course, people will say, then why does the Creator find fault, right? Well, the reality is that who is the incarnation without the Creator? The Creator, what shall the thing form say to the, shall the clay say to the potter, why have you made me this way? It is what it is. Yeah. Because there's only one self, ultimately. But in this universe, it's all based on who's aware or not aware. If a person lacks awareness, everything will be like random chance to them. They won't understand how things are playing out, and they will think that they can fix it, or they can cause some bad to somebody, not realizing that some people are off limits, protected by the divine. So that's why, no matter what you try to do to them, it's like Looney Tunes. It will backfire on you, because those people are off limits. While there are people you can attack, there are people who are cursed and not protected. So yeah, another trait of the Creator is that majority of the human race he either doesn't care about, he hates, or he loves. Yeah. So the Creator remember, you gotta understand, all personality is based off the original personality. So there are people he doesn't care about. For example, why is there a lot of children that bad things are happening to? Like, it's not just adults or elders, children, boys and girls. Why is everything allowed to happen to them? I'm gonna say this reality is uncomfortable, but I'm gonna state the reality. The Creator doesn't care or hates majority of the children, human children, just like he hates the human adults, hates the human elders. Yeah. So majority of the human race is not protected, because the Creator simply either hates or don't care about them. While 1% of the human race is protected, no matter what age, whether the good rule or the bad rule, throughout every time period of every age. The Creator loves 1% of people, and this is why those type of people are protected from everything. why the government or evil spirits or wild animals is not allowed to attack or eat them, why they're covered, because those 1% are loved by the Creator. And this is why those 1% is invincible, while anything cannot happen to them. For example, a person may have a gun to shoot at somebody, but it depends on where he aims the gun. If he's not allowed to shoot that person, then the bullet simply won't work. Basically, they will shoot the gun, the bullet will always go around that person. And like always, that person will freak out saying, "What are you?" Or number two, he could shoot the gun and the bullet won't come out. It won't work. It will just not work. He will try to shoot it, but then, yeah. Or he can't, or three, he can't move his finger because it's just not meant to be. So he's saying, "Wait, why can't I control my own body?" Yeah, you understand, Affinity could do things in infinite ways. There's no telling how anything will play out. So, because there's no, you can't really tell how the source will do things. He could have things come about in infinite ways, whether good or bad. So, yeah. So I can't explain that part, but yeah. Because Affinity, anything is possible. But yeah, anyway, to put it short, there are children, adults, elders that he loves. And thus, this is why there are things, everything is not allowed to happen to them that's bad. So, why bad spirits can't touch those people, why bad humans can't touch those people, why there's no such thing as being in a bad place at the wrong time. Wherever that person goes, their protection goes, the heavenly beings, and protecting them, guarding them. I'm just letting you know how everything is set up, man. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, in pleasant nature, when animals killing each other, it's just fair game. Humans are more important than animals. That's why but he only cares about 1% of the human race. So I'm saying all of time, from the beginning to the end, all of time and eternity beyond the end, which is continued eternity, where there are people granted to live forever. So you know what I'm saying. So yeah. So the reason why does the Creator not answer most human beings' prayers? Because he never was listening in the first place. I got to expose the lies of all the Christians, Jehovah's Witness, Muslims, all the religions that work together with the world system, that lie to the masses on earth. The religions lie to y'all people. God is not listening. He does not care about majority of y'all. Yeah. That's why he doesn't answer your prayers. Of course, y'all will be delusional and act like he's answering your prayers, saying, "Oh, he did this for me, yay." That was never God. That was just a heavenly, that was a fallen heavenly, a being originally from heaven who's fallen, right? He will pretend to be God just so you think that God is there for you. He'll pretend to be God, because anyone who the Creator doesn't care about is on the same team as the fallen heavenly beings and the evil beings and the government and so they will have to work together to keep the lie believable, to keep the delusion believable. So they'll work together with the humans that the Creator does not love, so that way they will keep the lie. So to try to deceive other people. Yeah, because anyone who has powers is because they're using demons' help or fallen beings' help. So So in order to keep Christianity believable, the heavenly beings have to, remember, spirits have powers, so they will have to perform the miracles, so people would think Christianity is real. That's right. So, So I'm just explaining the reality of how it happens. So everyone on the bad side are all on the same, all on the same team, the same side. It doesn't matter if they're spiritual beings, human beings. Every species work together. That's who's bad. Yeah, to keep the life believable. So, he doesn't answer majority of people's prayers because he's not for y'all. So, now then, while there are those he does answer, but that's 1%. Like I said, I'm just explaining the reality. This sounds harsh, but this is the truth. He only listens to the 1%, while the majority he ignores. So. This is also one of the many reasons why I don't befriend everybody, because wherever God hates, I hate. Wherever he loves, I love. Yeah, because we're one and the same anyway. So I have to say. So I'm just gonna play on my true nature. Basically, why do I ignore a majority of children, adults, elders in the world? Why do I not want to be friends with other men? And why do I ignore a majority of the women who had a crush on me and I rejected? It didn't matter to me if they were beautiful or ugly, or it made no difference. Why do I not accept majority of humans on earth? Want to know the real reason why I'm this way? Because I do not accept what the source does not accept. I love what the source loves. I recognize that I'm the same person having a human experience, the Creator, So my true self. That's how I really am. So this is why I don't befriend everybody. Yeah, the real reason why I reject everybody, and I only get along with 1% of the population, because that's how the source feels. That's what the yeah. So I'm only playing out how the source is. Knowing my true self, seeing beyond the illusion of the incarnation and the source, knowing who I really am. Yeah, so I'm just being my true self. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, it doesn't matter. I didn't even care. It doesn't matter what age the person was. I show no mercy, regardless of what age you are. It doesn't matter. Yeah, there's no distinction with me. There's no. I don't show any pardon. It doesn't matter what you have or don't have. If you're just not one of the chosen ones, I just don't care about your existence. That's just how it is. That's why I don't acknowledge anybody. Yeah. There are times when different little girls would say, "Hey, Mister," or try to be friends with me. One time I was at the pool, right? One wanted to be my friend, and I simply didn't acknowledge their existence. And other people thought I was mean. I wasn't being mean. It's just the creator does not love her, does not care for her, so I don't either. Yeah, hey, see, I had to say that because I'm telling you the reality that there are people who are just not loved or who are hated, So whoever the creator does not care about, I don't care about. I don't care what age you are. Yep, you could be a feeble elder. You can be a strong individual, young man or young woman, and I still don't care. Yeah, there's no discrimination with me when it comes to age, or even what species you are. You could be a human, you could be a hybrid, you could be a spirit, you could be a deity, you could be a... If you're not loved by the deity of all deities, then I don't love y'all either. So that's just how it is. So it's not limited to just humans. It could be anything. So yeah, so no offense to those people out there who tried to be my friend in the past, and even children who looked up to me, wanted me to be their example. It makes no difference. I don't care about y'all or love y'all. Y'all destiny is just to be destroyed and forgotten. So therefore, I can't care about y'all. So yeah, I'm letting you know that's the real reason. So this is why I don't want to be friends with just anybody I see, because I already know their fate. You gotta understand, both the good and bad too are used to fulfill their role, in existence. Because there's no chance, everything is predestined. For Donald Trump, the reason why he's doing what he's doing, because it's destined for him to. His actions are already planned, and he's carrying it out. He's being used as the evildoer of the creator. His job is to be evil. That's his purpose. So don't hate Donald Trump. He's just fulfilling his role. I personally would not get along with him, because I already know he's just here to be that way. Yeah. So he's on the side of people I don't care about. Because he's only here to fulfill his prophesized role. His job is to be evil and light the fires of war. His job is to, light the fires of war that's playing out. Yeah, he's supposed to do all that. It's just prophesied about to happen. So that's why he's doing what he's doing. Same thing with those who are good. There are people who are predestined to bring about change, and then there are people who are predestined to bring about evil. It goes both ways. So yeah. My job is just to enlighten those who are meant to hear what I say. Not everyone's meant to hear this. That's why they can't comprehend what I'm saying. This information is not for them. This is just for my fellow chosen one, the 1%, who's loved by the power. The power of Israel, the power of the black people, the black nation, the power of everything that created everything and put the chosen nation on top anyway, because that's our position, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's all I wanted to say in this video. I wanted to explain who the real creator is. Oh yeah, one more thing before I leave. Another thing about the creator is that he's not good or bad. He created both good and bad. He's beyond good and bad. That's right. Everything has a hierarchy when it comes to the two sides, good and bad. But the creator is the commander of both sides. He's a father of the good, and he's the husband of the bad. The head of all bad okay, when it comes to the hierarchy, right? The one in charge of every evil being is Lucifer. Lucifer is she's also known as the wife of the dark. And then when it comes to those who's in charge of all good, when it comes to the hierarchy, it's the light. And the light is actually the firstborn son of creation and the son of the dark. That's right. So the father is above both sides. The lights and the shadow. The shadow is the evil. The light's the good. The light's the necessary good. The shadow's necessary evil. And the dark's above both, and both report to the dark, and they both get their orders from the dark to carry out, the will of the dark, to how everything should play out. To set, yeah, everything is set up that on purpose. So I'm letting you know. Ooh. So yeah, so the Creator is beyond good and bad. So yeah. So just like his kind side can be very heavenly, his bad side can be very devilish and scary. Yep, and he has no equal when it comes to his good side and bad side. His bad side is worse than all evil beings put together. His good side is more heavenly than all good beings put together. I'm just letting you know who the Creator is. He commands both sides. The source. In my real identity, because I recognize myself as the incarnation. Oh yeah, of that same source. So anyway, the dark has to sing in everything. Everything that happens is allowed to happen in reality. Yep. The reason why many people die, perish, or get sick, or face worse than death, why all kinds of things happen to those people, is because, yes, I said it, the source did it to them. And just like how there are blessings and happiness and peace and light, love and light that happens to the 1%, why? Because the source did that. Yeah, huh? And then there are people the source simply just set up from the beginning. For example, he will allow good things to happen to certain people that he's planning on destroying utterly, but he's pretty much going to have no bad thing happen to them, so they become as arrogant and prideful as possible. And then when they're at the most peak of prideness, arrogant, then the source will destroy them, bring them down completely, without any, foresight. They have never seen it coming. Because there are people who the source don't want to teach a lesson to. He just wants to set them up to be arrogant, then destroy. See, it goes both ways. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm telling you how the real Creator is. He's not as nice as the church is making him out to be. He can be nice, but he can be just as bad too. The source is beyond good and bad, and the source is what makes all the rules to reality. So a lot of people don't know. Remember, the people in the churches don't know the real God. They don't. They only tell you about a false, fake version of him. But there are people who are meant to be deceived, and there are people who are meant to be set up, and then there are people who are meant to be loved, like truly loved forever, eternity. Yeah. Then there are people who are meant to get a fake kindness, so they think that they're all that. And then once their youthfulness is up, he's all right. The prophecy of his usefulness, of him being used to fulfill certain roles, is up. Now I'm gonna destroy him. Yes, that's how the Creator works, man. Ooh, why does the Caucasian race? I'm gonna expose something. I decided I'm gonna just go ahead and expose this. So, the Caucasian race, who have the most on Earth, right? Who are given the most. The reason why that they appear to not be plagued like other nations on Earth is because the Creator is using them to fulfill the role of being evil as a nation, right? And this is the true identity of the Caucasian race, the white people, so-called white people, right? The reason why that they appear to be getting away with everything is because that's why, like I mentioned earlier, the Creator is he's chosen that nation of people to raise up, to get away with so many things, so they can become as prideful, arrogant as possible. And what will he do once he's done using them to fulfill their evil role? He's going to utterly destroy them. And he's going to give them a fate worse than everyone else that he punished throughout the generations of the time. You know how their plagues and punishment that's going to happen to the Caucasian race later will not be compared. Yeah, it can't. What happened to other nations being plagued, our plagues of other nations cannot be compared to what's going to happen to the Caucasian man at the end. The Creator is setting them up to experience their worst fate that every nations before them have never experienced, basically. Because every nation have had to suffer a plague or two, one or two or three, but the Caucasian man is set up for the worst plague of them all. To that every plague that every other nation had to suffer won't be compared, basically. The Caucasian man is being raised up to be as prideful and arrogant on purpose, and then the Creators will destroy them at their most peak. So that's why it happened. What, you think I was surprised about what happened to my people for 400 years? I already saw that would play out from before the beginning. I already know, all timelines of all reality is calculated by the divine, the dark. He said a date for everything to play out. He said in this season, the good people will rule in this season. In this generation next, there will be evil king, evil government. They'll be ruling for a season. And then in this, the good people, the good government will rule again. and this season the bad rule again. He set a date. He set a fair date for the good and the bad to rule each season. And the final season of, we've reached the end of I'm not going to mention this. I'm going to keep this part a secret, but because I don't want to mention this. But I'll say this: the time period we're living in right now is the final time period for the wicked to rule, and the worst of the worst to rule. So, and once they're taken down, then it's going to be good for the rest of eternity after that. Yep. Hey, don't ask me as a human. This is just how the source set it up. So yeah. So I'll just tell you this much. Yeah, we're living in a time period where the villains can rule one more time, and that's it. So this 400 years is our last time. So, oh yeah, we already reached the 400-year mark. What's playing out is just prophecy being fulfilled of their downfall, spiraling. Their downfall is spiraling slowly, and it's happening in different ways to different individuals too. Like, they're being punished in many different ways, whether by sunlight, whether by bad spirits, whether by wild animals, whether by being killed by other humans, whether by being killed by deities, gods, goddesses, or no matter what species they are, like, or bad luck. Bad luck is happening to them, or they're basically they're getting their joy taken away by the divine too. Like, there are people who will just be miserable and they can't explain why, and that reason why for that is because their joy was taken away by the divine, the source. So, for example, what good is the possessions that you have if you don't have the ability to enjoy it? And why is that happening to a lot of people? Because you see that? It's like I said earlier, affinity, man. Affinity can do things in infinite ways. Like, you don't have the affinity does not have to use creation to kill people. He can just have them drop dead by itself, or he can have he can have anything happen to them, or he could just simply take away their joy, the part of their soul. He could take away a piece of their soul where they will never be fulfilled. So I'm explaining why a lot of people are like that, because their joy was taken away, so they can never be satisfied, and the only way they will be they can escape that is by suicide. Yeah, huh? So I'm explaining why all that's happening. So why is there so many people miserable? Why are a lot of boys, girls, men, and women not fulfilled, and why do they feel miserable? Because that's another way that the Creator is killing them. He's saying, you know what? I'm gonna give them this amount of possessions, right? So they'll feel fulfilled, right? I mean, the average poor person would enjoy if they had, but I'll take away their ability to enjoy it. Yeah, and that's what's going on. I'm telling you, keep it real. So therefore, that's why those people are miserable despite what they have, and why they exist too. Yeah, I'm letting you know, man. There's no telling. Yeah, the Creator can do things in infinite ways. I'm just letting you know. So I'm just letting you know, man. So I'm here just to talk to my fellow chosen ones, to fulfill my role as enlightening them. Even I know that my ways are planned out. Yeah. Even though I'm the Creator, I'm fully aware of myself in this incarnation. So I know. So I'm both Creator and human at the same time. So yeah. But anyway, that's what I wanted to tell y'all in this video. I wanted to explain how the Creator really is. The true nature of the Creator, so it'd be easier to understand them. So yeah. So my chosen ones out there, fellow Israelites who are aware, just know the reality of what our Creator is. Yeah, the affinity, the one that commands both good and bad, and who set a date for good and bad to rule. And then there's eternity where there will be no more evil ever again, and good will rule for the rest of eternity. Why didn't they say the rest of eternity? So the Creator literally rests because of that. He's going to rest because good will rule forever. No more evil. So all evil will be subject to all good as slaves, as fully controlled. And you know what I'm saying? It's going to get back to how things were meant to be. Before everything played out. All villains are gonna serve as the eternal example of what not to do. Like what will happen when it plays out like that. So yeah. So anyway, that's enough of these videos. So anyone that has my fellow chosen ones that see this video, just make notes of the things I said. So that way you can look at it yourself on paper and be like, oh, that's how that works. Why that's like that. And like I said, anyone has any questions, just leave it in my comments of this video. So anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, one more thing. Yeah, so anyway, the purpose of the Caucasian race, is for them to become as arrogant as possible and just to have everything that their hard work taken away. Yeah, you know how they lied about history. They changed the history. They act like they've always been important. You gotta understand, people of the world, that was allowed to happen. That's why the Creator has already set up the worst fate for them. So He's gonna have them get as prideful and arrogant as a nation, and then He will take away everything, everything that they work hard, to achieve through killing, stealing, and destroying, basically. So yeah. So that's why I say this to my people out there: continue having trust in our power. Cause you gotta understand that the creator I just described in this video, yes, he's the power of our people, and we're the image of that creator. So know who you are, my people, and continue not worrying. Because by not worrying, you're saying you trust the power. Yes. So understand that. The only reason why there are times where certain people are tested, the ones who are good, it's just to strengthen them if there's a need for it. So that's why sometimes our faith is tested. So that's only applied to people who need that test, who need the test to get stronger. So don't confuse it with punishment, okay? All right. That's the end of this video. Peace.